Can you guys hear me okay? Beautiful. Guys, we got some free salads, and we want a free salad. 8 vegetable garden salad, no lettuce. How is that, by the way? Isn't that tasty? It's what? No, it's going to be everything that's in this bowl. I'm going to make one for you during the show. Yeah. Guys, free salads, you want a free salad? Come up and grab one. Grab yourself a seat right up there in the front if you want. We're going to cook up some vegetables for you. Anybody else for a free salad? If it's free, it's for me, right? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Great spot. You're certainly welcome. Would you like a salad as well as you're coming in? There you go. You're welcome. Sir, would you like a salad? There you are. I got two left. Everybody else? Last 2 salads, they're free. Okay, $5. Yeah. All right, I'll put them over here. Somebody come by and get them. Oh, there you go. Absolutely, come on. You're certainly welcome. It's my pleasure. All right, guys, let's get started here. By the way, how many of you out there like to cook? Anybody like to cook? Oh, got a bunch of you. Good. How many like to eat? Eating, isn't that great? Eating is not a fad. How would you guys like to eat all the foods you want and not worry about the bad stuff? High cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, things like that. That's kind of what my show is aimed at. This is a healthy cooking show. And I'm going to do it by using waterless and greaseless cookware. Now, we've been making this cookware since 1906. I look pretty good, don't I? I tell a lot of bad jokes. Be prepared for that. Now, we did start back in 1906, and back in the early days, we did have a tool that was very similar to this one, except that it used to have a C-clamp, and it went underneath the countertop, and that's where you grind your vegetables. Now we've got a high chrome finish, so it looks good. The magic is this rubber base. If you'll put this on any flat surface and just turn that little lever, 600 pounds of pressure, not going anywhere. Now, I am going to start by cutting up some carrots for you. I have a little hint. If you're going to cook carrots at home, wash them and scrub them, don't peel them. 70% of the nutrients of a carrot's actually in its skin. You want to leave the skin on. Just give it a nice healthy bath. So let me get and grab a couple of carrots here, and we'll start by cutting those up. So what I do, I take the carrot, put it to the back of the hopper, and just turn the handle. Is that pretty quick? Now, there's a couple of things I want you to remember about this tool. First of all, if you ever get one, leave it on your countertop. I'm sorry?
All metal.
Yes, all metal, except for that little handle right there. But the first thing is leave it on your countertop, because if you put it away, what's going to happen? Out of sight, out of mind. Goes into the gadget graveyard. Second thing to remember is when you get to the bottom of the carrot, let go. That's right. Otherwise, you got finger food. That's not a good thing. There is a safety device built into the tool. Anytime my fingers go to the back of that hopper and start to get cut, this hand does stop. It's as funny as I get. No. Guys, you can always buy carrots already cut up like this at the grocery store. They cost you about 4 times more than a carrot should. Usually they're dried out. They don't taste very good. I will be showing you more of this tool in just a few minutes when I make the salad for you. But let me go ahead and officially start my show. My name is Steve. I'll be your chef. Everybody say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to get all your names, too, if I could. So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Athena.
I got Athena. Good. I'll get them all before the end of the show. By the way, the name of this cookware is Westercraft. Some people know us better from our original factory name. We used to be part of the old West Bend company. Now, we make Kitchencraft and Lestercraft. The smallest utensil I'm going to use in my show today is a little 1 quart, and I am going to start by putting some carrots in the bottom of this pan. Besides vitamin A, does anybody here know the name of the natural medicine that we find in carrots? Good for you, sir. Beta-carotene. First known cancer preventative medicine there is, and it's right there in your vegetable garden. Now, I'm going to add some other vegetables as well. I got some dark green, like broccoli and zucchini. How many of you ladies out there like broccoli and zucchini? The reason I'm asking women, not men, for women, broccoli and zucchini are actually the 2 best garden vegetables to help prevent breast cancer. Now, it's good for men, too. We get breast cancer as well, but especially for the ladies. I've got 3 daughters. A lot of broccoli and zucchini went to my house. Yellow squash, very high in vitamin C. Purple cabbage, which is high in iron. We've got some corn on the cob because I like corn on the cob. And then I'm going to top it all off with just a couple slivers of red bell pepper. Does anybody know the difference between a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper, other than the obvious color? The red one is ripe, exactly right. Sits on the vine about 3 weeks longer than the green one does. Now, in those 3 weeks, it will pull a lot of nutrients out of that soil. So when you get to the grocery store, there's a difference too, isn't there? Called price. This particular case, you are getting what you pay for. A red bell pepper has 320% of the recommended daily allowance of vitamin C that your body needs. Now, I use it for a completely different reason. I use it for the color. We eat with our eyes first. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's two colors that make people hungry, especially kids. Red and yellow. You know how we know that? What color is the McDonald's sign? Red and yellow. So is Burger King, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, Sunny, Sonic, Denny's, Checkers, Rally's, Bojangles, Bob Evans, you name them, they're red and yellow signs. It is on purpose. The marketers are actually pretty sneaky. They're even going to get you in the grocery store. Red and yellow. Don't ever paint your kitchens red and yellow. You'll be eating an awful lot, okay? So I learned from the marketers. I put red on yellow, kids eat vegetables. Doesn't that look good? Now guys, if you were cooking these vegetables at home, what's the next ingredient you normally add? Water. And I'm here to tell you all, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit of water or a lot of water. It really doesn't matter whether you're boiling or steaming, because the end result will be the same. When you're done cooking your vegetables, you're going to pour the water out. And when you pour that water out, what's coming out with the water? Vitamin A, vitamin B, beta carotene, 5 seconds of rinsing. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 20 minutes of boiling or steaming? So we're going to cook without water. We're going to drain the water out. We're going to leave the nutrients in. I do want you guys to keep these colors in your mind's eye. I'm going to put that lid on. We're going to put this on the burner. I'm going to put it onto medium heat. What's going to happen here in about 4 or 5 minutes, you guys are going to see a steady stream of vapor coming from that lid. When I see that vapor, it actually tells me it's 180 degrees. And when it comes to vegetables, anything above 180 is going to start to kill your nutrients very quickly. So when I see that vapor, I'm going to take it off the burner. Now I'm also going to do some carrots the old-fashioned way. We're going to boil these. The reason I do this in my show is so you guys can actually taste the difference of cooking with water versus cooking without. So we'll add the nutrients from the first batch. All right, now usually in a show that we do like this, the next thing I would normally do is fry up some chicken for you. But I'm not going to do that because it's going to be an all-vegetable show. But if I was to fry up anything at home, what's the first ingredient you normally add to the skillet? Oil, grease, fat, lard, or butter. Now I'm sure you've all seen cold grease in the bottom of a skillet before. Kind of looks like this. We learned this from a heart surgeon. It takes a temperature of 105 degrees to melt any kind of grease, fat, lard, or butter. Your body's 98.6. Cook with grease, it goes over 105 and melts, but you're going to eat the food that's going to drop back down to 98.6. A lot of our cholesterol actually comes from the grease that's in our diets. Now, this is from the American Heart Association. They call this the death of an artery. When you're born, you got a clear one, but you go through life with french fries, cheeseburgers, and pizzas. Does anybody here have any idea how old the average American is today who's walking around right now with a stage 2 blockage in their arteries? How old do you think that person is in this country? 15, I heard 25. 5. We're not quite that bad yet, but it's 11. 11 years old. University of Kansas does a study every year. They take kids 10 to 17 and give them ultrasounds. Last year they found out that over half of those kids had arteries that appeared 30 years older than they actually were. Why is that happening? What's causing that? So a lot of that red and yellow, isn't it? It's fast foods and junk foods, but here's one that sneaks into all of our diets. It's called processed foods. This is Crisco. This is not a natural fat. This is a man-made fat. Now, a lot of people tell me they don't eat this stuff. But I'm telling you, if you ever drink coffee with a non-dairy creamer, first ingredient in that creamer, hydrogenated oil. This stuff. So it sneaks into our diets. We end up with an artery that looks like this and don't know how we got there. Good news is, 2 ways to reverse it. One's through your diet, others with a scalpel. I prefer the diet. So, the good news is, with our cookware, you can fry without any grease or oils. It's kind of a nice thing we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this kitchen cutter back out. I'm going to do a salad for you. I am going to start this salad off as a stir fry. Does anybody here like stir fry? What is the hardest part about making a stir fry? Chopping up them veggies. I had one guy say getting in the car, going to the store to buy some chopped up veggies, right? Let's see how fast I can do it with this tool. And by the way, I do call it a tool, not a gadget. This is a kitchen tool. We'll start with the carrots from earlier. I'm going to add some yellow squash. Take the yellow squash right on top of the cone, turn that handle. Look at that nice julienne cut that it makes. Kind of looks like hash browns, doesn't it? If I had a potato, that's exactly what I'd be getting. We're going to add some greens to that, so we have some zucchini. Now, I just hold the vegetable. The machine's actually doing all the work for me. And by the way, The motor on this machine has a lifetime warranty. I don't, sir. Not till the end of the show. Sorry. Sir, everything's till about at the end of the show. If you got to run, that's okay. Come back when you have a chance. Thanks. All right. Green cabbage. Earlier I said for women, broccoli and zucchini, the top 2 vegetables for breast cancer. This is for men, raw green cabbage. If a man can have 2 servings of raw green cabbage in his diet every week, it'll reduce the risk of prostate cancer by up to 70%. Now, it's inexpensive if you buy it by the head. It's only 39 to 59 cents a pound. But if you buy coleslaw, it's $2.49 a pound. All they're doing at that store is getting a couple of high school kids in 2 of these machines, taking some 39-cent cabbage and turning it into $2.49. Smart for the store, not so smart for us. Now, I palm the cabbage. The reason I palm it, I don't want it cutting the last leaves. Those last leaves are where people handle it in the grocery store, and it's also where you find the pesticides. Throw that part away, keep the good stuff in the bowl. Now, purple cabbage, a little more expensive than the green, but it's about twice the amount of nutrients. It's also got a nice color. It makes your food look good. Now, guys, if your food looks good, smells good, and tastes good, what are you going to do? You're going to eat it, aren't you? Now, if it happens to be healthy for you and it tastes good, then you're never on a diet. Now you eat healthy because you enjoy it, not because somebody said you had to. It does make a huge, huge difference. And by the way, that is a stir fry in about 30 seconds. Is that pretty quick? I don't know if any of you have bought stir fry lately, but I saw it at the store for $4.95 a bag, and that was a small bag. You ever open those store-bought vegetables and smell them? It smells like week-old vegetables, don't they? I found out why. It happens at the factory. It comes down a conveyor belt. They open the bag, they drop vegetables in. It goes to a second station and it sucks the oxygen out of the bag. It goes to a third station and it re-injects carbon dioxide. Keeps them looking fresh for up to 10 weeks. That's what you're smelling when you open those bags. That cost me about 75 cents to make it fresh. You do that a couple times a week, you're saving thousands in your life eating fresh. But you got to have the right kind of kitchen tools. Who likes celery? Anybody like celery? Celery is a great sodium substitute. If you put it in soups and stews instead of salt, much healthier for you, but it still gives you the salty taste. What's the one thing most people don't like about celery? Strings on the back. We call that nature's dental floss. Here's your solution. Take your stringy side, put it to the back of the hopper, and turn that machine on. Shreds the meat of that celery really nicely, but the part that it doesn't cut is the part you don't want in your food in the first place. So now I'm going to have celery with no strings attached. Is that pretty cool? How many of you out there like this kitchen cutter so far? Oh, very nice. Who'd actually use one of these if it was in your kitchen? Would you? Who'd take it if I gave it to you for free? Oh, there you go. I better see some hands. I do get some free ones out. Stick with me. How about onions? Anybody like onions? Oh, what's your first name?
Athena.
Athena, that's right. You told me. Athena just pointed out that we got some vapor coming out of this lid. Can you all see that vapor coming out? Now, we're cooking those vegetables without any water. That's the natural moisture of those vegetables starting to vaporize. What did I say I needed to do when I saw that vapor? Take it off the burner. Now, they're not done cooking yet. They've only been on about 4 or 5 minutes, but watch how fast this vapor is going to stop as soon as I get it off the burner. This is how waterless cooking works. That vapor has now filled a reservoir around the top of this pan, creating a vapor seal. It's sealing the lid down. Because of the 7 layers of metals that we use to construct this cookware, the first layer being cast iron, it's now going to act like an oven. The good news is, I don't need the stove any longer. We're going to save some energy over here. If you're saving energy, what are you really saving? Money. You boil or steam, it's 20 minutes on the burner. We just did 5. I'm going to put them on top of this skillet right here and let it continue to cook in its own heat. Now, our company always knew you'd save money by using our cookware. We just never knew how much. So we tested. We went to the University of Wisconsin and found out that if you'll use this cookware the way we show you to use it, you will save, on average, $1 per meal on your utility bill. Now, if you're only cooking 1 meal a day, that's still $300 a year you save just because of your cookware. Good cookware pays for itself. So, okay, back to the onion. Now, on the onion, I cut it into quarters, but I leave the skin on. I leave the skin on because underneath that skin is where that oil is. It turns to a gas when you're peeling it, makes you cry. So if you leave the skin on, palm it like I did that cabbage earlier, right on top, it is going to shred and peel the onion all at the same time, right down to the skin. Throw that part away, no time for tears, but you got beautiful shredded and peeled onions for your soups and salads. Now guys, it is a very safe machine. Are you noticing I'm putting my hand on the inside? That's how I get the food out, not going to cut me. Put my fingers on top of the teeth and turn the handle. Fingers do a little dance, doesn't cut me. Thanks for being worried though, I appreciate that. Well, that's why I can palm the vegetables the way I've been doing. Now, it's the same reason you can't do meats in here. It's going to be vegetables but no meats. Now, if I stick my fingers to the back of the hopper, Chef salad. Not going to show you that one. All right. One last ingredient. How many of you out there like cheese in your salad? We don't have any. I got to be honest, I like cheese. Our company's from West Bend, Wisconsin. We're cheeseheads, right? I do like cheese, but I'm also known as the healthy gourmet. And from a dietary standpoint, what's the drawback to cheese? Fat, cholesterol. They do make a non-fat cheese, and if you like the taste of cardboard, that's the one you buy, right? Otherwise, you got to get real cheese. Just be moderate about it, that's all. This cone I have right here will shred cheese. It'll also shred carrot if you do carrot raisin salad. If you like to make zucchini bread, run a zucchini through here. I happen to like potato pancakes. Perfect cone for potato pancakes. Now, instead of using cheese, I'm going to use what they call cheese plant, or garden cheese. And guys, if you've never seen a cheese plant before, they're available in every grocery store. They're in the vegetable department. Of course, they have a different name at the store. Butternut squash. It's a member of the pumpkin family. It has that hard rind like a pumpkin does. What I do is take the rind side, put it to the back of the hopper, and turn the machine on. What's that look like coming out of there? Cheddar cheese. Don't put it on the chili. It won't melt. Yeah. Look what it did. Stripped it right off of the rind. That's the part you throw away. We now have an 8-vegetable garden salad done in about 3 minutes if I wasn't doing all this talking up here. What do you guys think of that salad? Oh, how kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, by the way, that is the salad that a lot of you had when you first came in. Was it a good one? I got one left. Anybody wants it, feel free to grab that. It's not my recipe. I actually got the recipe out of a health magazine. Has anybody here ever read a little magazine called Prevention? 8.5 years ago, I found a 3-page article in this magazine that had this salad recipe. I've been making it in my shows ever since, and the reason is this. Most of us don't get enough fruits and vegetables in our diets. Fruits and vegetables create antioxidants. That's what actually fights disease in your body. According to the article, because of these 8 vegetables, if you were to eat that salad 3 to 5 times a week, it would help reduce your risk of internal cancer by up to 85%. That is a huge number. The problem with eating a salad like that is obviously making a salad like that, you got to have the right kind of tools. Now, obviously this is the right tool. You can get one for free. I will show you how at the end of the show. But I got to tell you, being a man, I only have one man in the audience. He already knows this. You ladies don't know this about us men. When a man's born, he's got an extra gene added to him. It's called the tool gene. Men buy the right tool for the right job every time, don't we, sir? Oof, 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 oof. You guys come to my house, you look at my garage, you're going to swear I am Tim the Tool Man Taylor. And I'll tell you something else about men. We don't buy cheap tools. Oh, you don't find a man at Walmart buying tools. We get Craftsman, Snap-on, Mac, John Deere, not Dear John, right? Do they cost more? Sure they do. Are they worth it? Even the women say yes for a couple of reasons. Number one, they last. Secondly, it's the quality. If we break it, we'll take it back and get another one. We get a lifetime warranty. You pay a little extra, but you get what you pay for. Now, personally, I consider everything you see over here to be tools for the kitchen. Probably the most important tools we use. We're feeding families out of these tools. Now, I got tools in my garage I use 2 or 3 times a year. How often do you use the tools in your kitchen? Every day. Average family cooks at least 1 meal a day, 300 meals a year, 20,000 meals in your lifetime. Guys, I just don't see the wisdom of buying those tools from Walmart, because you buy them over and over and over and over. Get quality ones you buy one time, one with lifetime warranties. So ladies, I have good news for you. 2 ways for the women in my audience to get this tool for free. One way is going to be at the end of my show. The second way is when you go home tonight. Take a tour of his toolbox. See the tools he buys. Go up to him, say, honey, I love you and I'd like for you to make these healthy salads from now on. And then you hand him the tool you use to make it with. Just make sure you give him that deluxe model. He'd be needing those, yeah. Our company learned a long time ago, when a man makes a salad like that with this tool, next day one of those magically appears in your kitchen. It's pretty cool. All right, let me go ahead and put it aside. I did tell you guys at the beginning of the show we started making this cookware back in 1906. Now, back in the early days, we used to send salespeople door to door. They'd knock on your door, we'd have a little chat on the doorstep, then we'd invite us in, we'd invite your neighbors over, and we'd do a little dinner party. That's how we'd sell the cookware. We still do those dinner parties to this day. I've done a bunch myself, and I'll tell you something that I learned about people by being in their houses, and that is that we all take a lot of pride in our kitchens, don't we? Heart of the house. That's where the families gather. That's where the love is. It's also the most expensive room in your house. Now, if you think about that, there's a cost to those appliances. Anybody who's remodeled a kitchen lately, cabinets today, $10,000 to $50,000, depending on the wood you use, and all you do is hide stuff in them. $3,000 to $5,000 for Corian or granite countertops. But the least expensive part of your kitchen is also the star of your kitchen, and that's your cookware. Now, when I go to somebody's house to do a party, I always ask them where they keep the cookware. 9 times out of 10, they're going to point to the lower part of the cabinets. But when I go down to get it, it usually sounds a little something like this. Oh, there's that lid. Does that sound familiar? Dinner bell at most homes. Kitchens look great. Go to your favorite grocery store, you buy your favorite foods. In fact, we're a little picky on the foods, aren't we? No bruising, no dented cans, you look at expiration dates. A lot of us are even buying organic nowadays, a little more expensive. You bring that expensive food home, you end up cooking them in tools that kind of look like this. The all-American set of pots and pans. Now, there's a few in here that I like, a few in here that I don't like. This is one of the ones I do like. It's Revereware. Been around, it's what we call the wedding gift. It's always given a great wedding gift. Not cheap either. It's about $100 a piece and worth it. Stainless steel with a copper bottom. Only issue with Revereware is it does have a thin bottom, so it gets hot spots. You got to constantly stir while you cook, or your food sticks to the hot spots. It's great cookware, but you're kind of married to the stove when you use it. Another one that I don't like is disposable cookware called Teflon. 6 weeks later, Teflon. And by the way, when the Teflon leaves the pan, where does it go? Too much pepper on your eggs? You didn't use pepper that morning. Great news for all of us. This will be the last year you can buy a Teflon pan in any store in the United States. They're taking it off the shelves next year. The chemical used to make it's called PFOA, and it's been found to be a carcinogenic, so it has to get off of our shelves. That is good news. Now, the last 2 pans, one I really like, one I really don't like. The one I really like is called cast iron. Been around since the days of the Pilgrims, and for a good reason. Excellent cooking utensil. The reason it's so good is that once it gets hot, it stays hot. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had cornbread out of cast iron, but there's not a whole lot better than that. The only issue with cast iron is it is porous. So when you first get one home after you've washed it, what are you supposed to do to it? You got to season it. Oil it, grease it, put it in the oven, turn the oven up, metals expand, oil and grease fill the pores, and you're supposed to have non-stick cookware. Of course, first egg you cook sticks, doesn't it? A couple weeks later, you cook some fish and that sticks. That's how we got fish sticks. I'm here all weekend. Do you guys ever see a cast iron skillet got the crud on the outside edge? Grandma's cooking. Been around so many years, heated up and cooled down and so porous, food actually penetrated through the metal, came out the other side. That's what the crud is. Not a health issue, because every time you heat the pan, it's going to kill the bad stuff. Point is, excellent cooking utensil, just not the most sanitary in your kitchen. Now, the one I really don't like is the #1 selling cookware in America. It's also in every American restaurant. It's called aluminum cookware. #1 seller for 2 reasons. One is aluminum conducts heat quickly. Second reason, cheap. Inexpensive. You'll find it lining the shelves at discount department stores. Do any of you know of any of the diseases that they say are associated with aluminum? Alzheimer's, #1. Also Parkinson's. Dr. Oz just had a special on his show on this topic. They were saying that people who are dying of Alzheimer's had 8 times more aluminum in their brains than those who died of natural causes. Now, the fact of the matter is, I'm a chef, I'm not a doctor. So instead of a medical statement, I'm going to show you guys an experiment. I do wash this pan every show that I do. I never cook out of it. I'll start with that cup of clear water. I'm also going to use the little Scotch-Brite scrub pad. These are the kind you get from the grocery store. Would you look at that and make sure that's a regular Scotch-Brite, nothing tricky going on? Does that look good? Yeah? That's my sister. You might want to look at that too. Just to All right, let me cut a little square off of here. For those of you who happen to own aluminum cookware, or you used to own it, do you remember when you first got it home, how nice and shiny it was? Then you started cooking in it. And when you cooked in it, that metal would start to darken up on you, wouldn't it? The more you cook, the darker it turns, until you cook something like spaghetti sauce. Tomato sauce, applesauce, rutabaga, anything with acid. Got nice and shiny again, didn't it? Where did that dark stuff go? Into the food. Where did the food go? Into you. I'm not a doctor, but I do know what the dark stuff is. It's called aluminum oxide, and my friends, poison to your body. Now, they're not going to tell you this in this country because it's the #1 selling pan and money talks. Did you guys know that they've already outlawed the sale of aluminum cookware in 11 countries on this planet, including our friends to the north in Canada? The one thing the 11 countries have in common is that they all have socialized medicine. Their government pays for their health care. They're not going to let somebody sell you something that's going to get you sick because they've got to pay to get you better. Now, we pay for our own health care here, but I got a bigger startling fact for you. How many of you in this audience happen to own a dog or a cat? Any pet owners? Did you guys know that in the United States, a veterinarian or a kennel cannot serve food to an animal out of an aluminum bowl? You can't go to any pet store in this country and buy an aluminum bowl. It's either stainless steel or glass or plastic. Do you know why? They used to use aluminum in the kennels. It's very cheap. What's an animal do when it gets done eating the food out of the bowl? It licks the bottom of the bowl. Aluminum oxide would get trapped in their throats. They'd end up with throat cancer, so they stopped feeding them that way. This is what they were getting on their tongues. Now, I don't know about you, but if a veterinarian's not feeding an animal out of it, I'm choosing not to feed my family out of it as well. So, I'm going to show you very quickly how we make Lestercraft, and guys, the food is ready, we're going to feed you. Here's how we make our cookware. We start with cast iron. First layer of metal we use. We love cast iron. Cast iron holds heat. We also magnetize it so it'll work on the new induction stovetops. We don't like that it's porous, so we wrap it in 3 layers of a pure aluminum alloy. Now, aluminum conducts heat quickly. We like that property, we just don't want you eating off of it, so we make it safe. Put the aluminum on the inside where it never touches food. We then wrap this in 3 more layers of what's called T304 surgical stainless steel. Now, this isn't just any stainless steel. This is what hospitals use when they put a pin in your body or do a heart valve or hip replacement. 100% non-porous, nothing sticks to it permanently, and it's indestructible. Do you remember earlier I called them tools for the kitchen? Like any good tool, we laser our name on the side. That's a warranty, not lifetime. This is heirloom quality. You leave it to your kids to raise their families with, they're going to leave it to their kids. We're going to replace, if necessary, the handles, the knobs, and the metals forever for free. Now, we've been doing this since 1906. We're not going anywhere. We take all 7 layers, we bring them up the side, we finish with that rolled lip so you can cook waterless. Does that sound expensive? Yeah, it's not cheap, like any good tool, but compared to bad health, this is a real bargain. Besides, how many of you would agree you get what you pay for? Cookware is no different. And I always say, what's the value of a tool you're going to use every day for the rest of your life that keeps you healthy? That is priceless. All right, let's get the food served up. Now, we are going to start with these carrots that I cooked the old-fashioned way. These are the ones that I boiled. And guys, I did have a cup of coffee this morning. Does anybody here drink coffee? Aren't we taught to make coffee by taking some hot water and running it through some coffee grounds? The liquid goes into a cup. We end up drinking what's in the cup. What do we end up doing with those coffee grounds? Throw them away. Maybe throw them in the garden, use them as a compost. That'd be a good idea, right? Why is it that we're taught to do the complete opposite when it comes to vegetables? With vegetables, we're taught to take the good stuff, the cancer-fighting enzymes and the nutrients, and we dump those down the kitchen sink. Then we drive over to Walgreens and spend $35 on a bottle of vitamins to replace what we just threw down the sink. Then we take the compost and feed it to the family. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, now does it? And by the way, I've cooked out the nutrients, I've cooked out the flavor and taste of those carrots. What do I need to do to make them taste good again? Salt, butter, cheesy sauce, ranch dressing. You go to the doctor, he says your blood pressure is too high, eat more vegetables. Doc, I have vegetables every single day. I don't understand why it's not coming down. It's not the vegetables, is it? It's what we're cooking out of them, what we're adding to them. It's actually hurting us. So guys, let me give you a wiser choice. It's called waterless cooking. Do you guys remember the colors of these vegetables when they first went in? Take a look at the colors as they come out. Those greens are still green. That purple cabbage is still purple. It's not battleship gray that normally happens when you boil. When you can see the colors in your vegetables like this, you are looking at nutrients that are still intact. Smells pretty good too, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to show all of you something about quality cookware you don't get with cheap cookware. This is called details. Here's a detail for you. How many times are you guys at home cooking, looking for a place to put your hot lid? We now build a holder into all of our pots. Is that a good idea? And every one of those lids, also a hot plate. We think of just about everything. And guys, if you cook this way at home, there's a good chance your neighbors may drop by. They're going to say they're hungry. Why isn't dinner on the table? You look at them and smile. You tell them dinner's on the table. Silver platter. Go ahead and eat. There it is, huh? Kind of a dramatic way to make a point. A little bit of water in the bottom of this pan. The best way for me to put this to you guys is like this. Is anybody here familiar with a little kitchen store up at the mall called Williams-Sonoma? Great little kitchen store, got great kitchen gadgets, also has some pretty good cookware called All-Clad. This is All-Clad, that's what I boiled your carrots with. Now, All-Clad's good cookware. If you ever watch a Food Network, this is the one you see them using. They got a 5-year contract with them. It's on sale right now. They just sent me a flyer. You can go up to the mall today, get a whole set of All-Clad, and it's only going to cost how much? $4,000. And guys, it is worth it. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money on your cookware, you go next door to Macy's. They got a set of Calphalon over there for $2,000, which is half the price. Or you can go to Walmart and get a complete set of junk, $38.88, right? Doesn't matter which of those sets you buy. If you were to cook vegetables without water in any of them, what would happen to the bottom of those pans? Scorch and burn. Happy to show you at Lestercraft, a paper towel and a little bit of water. We call it a wipe and a rinse. You're going to see our cookware is going to be looking new again, and it's going to look that way forever. If it doesn't, we replace it for free. We put that in writing. Now, I did 7 vegetables in all. If I'd have used water, all those flavors would have mingled together. It would have tasted like succotash. Since I didn't use any water, all the flavors remain in the vegetables. Tell me if this would not look good on your dinner table at home. Is that a good looking spread? Wait till you taste it. One last thing about this cookware I'm extremely proud of. Not only is this the easiest cleaning cookware you'll ever own, and not only do we guarantee it forever, but guys, everything you see up here, including me, is made exclusively, entirely, and very, very proudly right here in the United States of America. 100% American made. We've been that way since 1906, all in the same place, West Bend, Wisconsin. We're very proud of that. You buy American products, keep American jobs. As a matter of fact, if you guys, I tell you this cookware looks new forever. Here's an example of it. This is a pan that our company made back in 1957. That's 58 years old. Now, back in the 50s, we made it out of 3-ply metal. Here's what 3-ply sounds like. Today, we are a 7-ply. So we've improved upon the metals, but if it looks this good 58 years later, just think how good this one's going to look 58 years from today. We're very proud of the product that we produce, and if you guys will look over to your right, you're going to see what I call a testimonial board. You see the pin is out there. People who come by who own it, they sign it, how many years they've had it, and what they still think of it. When you've been around as long as we have, we get some really good testimonials. We're very proud of that as well. Okay guys, right now we're going to sample some food, so I'm going to hand some toothpicks out. We'll shake a couple out and pass it around on your side. We'll do the same thing over here. Now keep in mind when you sample the foods that nothing has been seasoned. And when it comes to vegetables, there's 2 enemies. One is heat, the other one is water. We've eliminated the water but not the heat. So you're going to taste the difference here. I'm going to give you the boiled carrots first. Now, I'm going to start with you guys. I know you've had a boiled carrot before. Try the boiled carrot, and when I hand you the waterless vegetables, if you'll try a carrot first, just to compare the taste of cooking with the water versus without. And before you hand this plate on, try something else off of it, whether it's a piece of broccoli, some corn, or whatever you like. So we're going to start with you. We're going to go around in this direction. And I will follow it with this one. Now remember, try carrot first to compare the two, and then have anything else. And while you guys are sampling that food, I am going to do a very quick cleanup up here. And if anybody out there would like to get a color brochure and price list, I'll be happy to hand that out in just a second. I will tell you in advance, we don't do high pressure sales. We've been around for over 100 years. So we're not going to make anybody buy anything, okay? But if you're interested in some of the specials we have to offer, stick around and I'll give you that brochure and we'll go over those. But right now, guys, just enjoy that food and I'll be right back with you. Well, I should tell you, anybody here ever heard of the Mayo Clinic? The Mayo Clinic? What's that? Oh, not the Mayo Clinic. No, yeah. The Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic said there's 2 things you should never do with vegetables. Number 1 is cook them in water. The second thing is to use high heat. But it's precisely what we do, don't we? We're either boiling or we're steaming. If you're boiling your vegetables, that water temperature is 212 degrees. At that temperature, you lose 70% of your nutrients. If you steam your vegetables, since they're not in the water, you're only losing 30%. Better than boiling. But if you can cook without water like we just did, you only lose 6%. You keep 94%. You can probably taste the difference in those vegetables, can't you? Can you taste them good? You ever tried the broccoli? How was that broccoli? Broccoli is a temperamental vegetable that most people overcook or undercook. If you cook without the water, it tends to come out perfect every time. How about the corn on the cob? You ever try corn? How was that? Did it need salt and butter? Now, I'll be honest with all of you. I like salt and butter. But if you can take some of it out of your diet, you think it'd help your health? In a heartbeat, literally. A recommendation for you guys, if you're going to use salt, use sea salt, or a kosher salt, or a salt substitute like Mrs. Dash. Stay away from the iodized salt. They add aluminum to it, help it pour. It's just not good for you. And if you're going to use butter, use the real thing that comes from the cow. Real butter is a natural fat. Your body actually knows what to do with. Fake butters are chemicals. You squirt them on the ground, insects won't eat them. So use the real thing, just be moderate about it, that's all. I got a question for all of you. Guys, if you had to eat food from either this plate or that plate for the rest of your life, which plate would you choose? That plate. Pretty easy choice, isn't it? Which one tasted better? That one again. Which one's healthier? It's a slam dunk, isn't it? One last question. What's the only difference between the food that we like and the food that we don't like? Quite simply, it's just the tool I use to make it with, isn't it? Because I don't care if you use a $5 pan from Walmart or a $500 pan from Williams-Sonoma. Anytime you're adding liquid to your vegetables, you're cooking out nutrients. You've got to add seasonings and flavorings. So the bottom line is this. If that is the kind of food you want to feed to your families, this is the type of cookware that should be in your kitchen. It's called Lestercraft. Does that make sense? Well, guys, I know some of you just want to sample the foods. I hope you liked them. Some of you are probably just resting. And some of you want to get a color brochure and price list on our cookware. How many out there want that color brochure and price list? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. I will tell you once again, we don't do high pressure sales. There's 3 ways you can actually order our cookware. You can do it in a live show with me if you want to, or you can go home and do it on your own. Just get on the internet and go to our website. Or you can have an in-home dinner party. We'll send a chef to your house. You'll invite some friends and neighbors over. Those are the only 3 ways we sell it. We don't sell it in stores, and there's a reason for that. If you guys were to see this cookware sitting on a store shelf, would you have any idea that it can cook without water or grease? Has to be demonstrated. That's why we do it this way. I come factory direct. I will save you off of the online price and the dinner show price. The brochure I'm going to give you, I'd like to explain it to you first, and then we're going to hand it out. You're going to notice a couple of things on here. The first thing you'll notice is that all the cookware is pictured in sets. First question I always get, can you buy it individually? The answer is yes. Everything we make available individually. We do put them in a sets. It's a better value, and I get to give some free gifts with the sets. Now, the one individual piece I do talk about at the very beginning, just because it's a little bit confusing, it is called a breakfast combo. Now, this is a square greaseless griddle. You can do pancakes without grease, grilled cheese sandwiches without butter in the bread, a little 7-inch egg pan. Breakfast is your most important meal of the day. The breakfast combo is a great way to get your day started. Now, the first set that I'm going to show you is called our basic set, and that's everything you see on this top shelf right here. Now, it's got the 1 quart. That's what I made your vegetables in during the show. And by the way, if you notice, that's a different knob than the rest of them. That is the Air Force. The Pentagon has now given us permission to use the Air Force, the Marines, or the Army. If you want to get a specialized knob on your cookware, we can do that for you now. We're the only cookware company in the world that they've allowed that to, by the way, which is very happy about that. This is a 10-inch skillet. Workhorse in my house. I use this skillet more than any other pan in my kitchen. This is a 3-quart for soup, stews, and chilies. This is a double boiler. Melt chocolate through hollandaise sauce, fondues. And who all tried that corn on the cob? Here's what I do at home. I take the whole ear and stand it on end. I get 10 to 15 ears in this 3-quart. Take that double boiler and turn it upside down, and now I got a 5-quart Dutch oven. Cook your corn that way without the water. You see how it all works together like a good set of match tools? That's what they are. They're tools for your kitchen. This set also has an 8.5-inch saute skillet, eggs, omelets, and stir fries. And guys, if you are cooking for 1 to 3 people, this set will get you by just fine. If you're cooking for 4 to 6 people, the family set will be a better choice. Those are the pieces that are on the next 2 shelves. Now, they are the same pieces as the top shelf. They're just twice the size. Instead of a 1-quart, you're going to get a 2-quart. Instead of a small skillet, you get a large skillet. 3-quart, 6-quart, etc. The most popular set we carry is our deluxe set, and that's when you put both of those sets together. Now, if it's just my wife and I, we use smaller pieces, but my girls do come home from college, we do have company, we do have holidays, and when that rolls around, we do need the bigger pieces as well. On the back of your underneath your brochure, we have what we call the opportunity form. If you see the wisdom and you want to take the opportunity to invest in your family's health today, fill this form out. Order yourself some great cookware. You'll never get a better price. If today's not your day, that's okay too. Just do me a favor when we're through. Keep the color brochure and take it home with you. Leave everything else sitting on a chair. Is that a fair deal? You will notice there's no prices. We're going to write the show specials in together. I'm going to give you guys a pen to do that with. It's a special pen. If you walk more than 10 feet away from my booth with this pen, it explodes in your pocket and makes a huge ink stain. Okay, I'm kidding about that. Please don't take my pens. All right, raise your hand if you wanted a brochure. Oops. There we go. There you go, sir. You're welcome. One for you, one for you two. We all good? Oh, I can't forget you. There you go. All right, guys, look up here at me. I'm going to go through this very quickly. I'll give you all the prices. We'll go over the gifts and get you on out of here. There is something we all have in common. Every one of us at some time or another have been to a store to buy cookware, haven't we? Last thing you see when you leave that store is that salesman waving at you saying thank you and good luck. End of the relationship. At our company, the opposite is true. Our relationship won't even start until the cookware arrives. 3 different ways. The first way is we're going to include with your cookware a cookbook. It's going to show you how to use it. Great recipes. But there's something else we learned in our 100-year history, and that's that men don't read cookbooks. So for the men, we're sending a movie. And by the way, whether you watch the movie or you read the book, they're both going to show you how to do one of the things that made our company very famous. When I do an in-home dinner party, guys, here's what I do to show this cookware off. I will take this 6-quart right here, and I'll put a big ham in it. I'll then take this pan, turn it upside down, I'll make that a Dutch oven. I'll take my skillet, I'll put potatoes and peas in here and place it right on top of that ham. I'll take my skillet, turn it upside down, I'll make that a dome cover. I'll take the 3-quart, put it right on top, put corn in there like I showed you before, use my double boiler as a Dutch oven. I'll take my 1-quart and I'll put a cake in here, and where do I put this one? Right on top. I cook the entire meal on one burner. Now you talk about saving money on the utility bill. One burner for the whole meal. This does work. It's called stack cooking or pyramid cooking. It looks like this in a cutaway. There's only a 4-degree difference in temperature from the top to the bottom. The reason it works is those 7 layers of metal. The aluminum carries the heat up the stack. The cast iron holds the heat. They each become a little oven. That's why we can cook this way. I don't cook this way at my house very often, but around the holidays, when you got more to cook than burners, this comes in very handy. One little bit of warning, if you ever decide to move to California, I don't recommend you cook that way. Earthquakes. All right, last bad joke. I said we start this relationship in 3 ways. The first way is the cookbooks. The second way is online. If you go to our website, we've got a bunch of videos. We're in the kitchen with you. I say we because I did most of those videos. I did 3 videos alone just on this kitchen cutter. Now, how many of you out there like this kitchen cutter? Who still wants one for free? I haven't forgotten. We're about to get to that. Only item our company makes that you can actually buy locally. We do make these available at restaurant supply stores. We sell a lot of these to churches, hospitals, schools, and restaurants. We do a lot of cutting of vegetables, or you can get a free one here. Last but not least, then I'll give you all the prices. How many of you out there ever use a slow cooker or a crock pot? I love them. You start that meal in the morning, it's waiting on you at the end of the day. The only issue with the crock pots, when you're done cooking, you got to clean. So it's one of 2 things. You've either got to turn it upside down because you can't get the heating element wet, you sort of sandblast it, or if it's got an insert sleeve, if that sleeve cracks or breaks, you're buying a new crock pot. They don't make replacement sleeves. A lady named Doris works for us. She designed ours. She separated them. Now you got a 4-quart that's just like the rest of the cookware. Use it on top of your stove, make spaghetti sauce, chili, or soup. If you want a slow cooker, place it on the base unit. If you want, put the whole thing in the oven. All of our cookware, the handles and knobs included, are oven safe. They all go in the oven, they all go in the dishwasher. The base unit, any of our other pieces fit it. You can have any size slow cooker you want or an extra burner for the house. Is that a good idea for a slow cooker? I'm actually using mine right now. You guys can't smell it. The reason you can't smell it is when we use our cookware, when the lids go on, it locks all the aromas and flavors in the pan. Now I said we're doing a vegetarian show here, so this is actually a butternut squash stew. You might be able to smell it now. And you're all welcome to come back in about 4 hours and watch me eat it. Yeah. Of course. Yes. Eggs are the only item you have to use a little oil with. It's the only one, though. You can do everything else, fish and everything else you don't. Here's why. Beef, pork, fish, and poultry, they all have a little bit of fat in their meats, so you just throw them into the pan. Egg white has 0 fat. But with our cookware, hot pan, cold oil, just a very slight bit of oil, that egg will slide like it's on ice. It's amazing. All right, so let's get to the best part. What does good cookware cost? Now, guys, if you're looking for something cheap, you probably figured out by now you've come to the wrong booth. This is not the cheap stuff. This is the good stuff. You buy quality one time, you buy junk over and over again. Has anybody here priced good cookware recently? All-clad, Teflon, Circulon. It runs from $100 to $300 a piece. Worth it. You get what you pay for. Sets of our cookware are no different. Matter of fact, if you look at my testimonial board, you see the first lady on top, Mary Walters, had a cookware for 47 years. Now, there's people on that board that's had it longer than her, but the reason I point her out is because when she signed the board, I asked her what she paid for it. She told me $350. Now think about that. 47 years ago, new Chevrolet was only $3,000. Today they're $30,000. So in today's dollars, she spent about $3,500 in today's dollars. Does that make sense? I'm telling you this because I'm about to give you today's prices. The good news is we did not keep up with the inflation of cars. I told you there's 3 ways to invest. I will give you the most expensive way first. Have an in-home dinner party. If we send a chef to your house, this basic set is going to sell for $22.95. And worth it. One-time investment, you have it the rest of your life. How many of you know that if you go online, you probably get a better deal? Same thing is true with our company. We're not sending a chef anywhere. You go online, we'll save you $300. That same set's only $19.95 online. The best price will always be here at the live show. We come here factory direct to give you factory pricing, so get your pins out. Because here at the live show, we're going to save you an additional $200. That basic set is only $17.95, $17.95. The family set is twice the size. It's not twice the price. 400 more, $21.95. Now, if you put them both together, that's our deluxe set. That's our most popular set. You can see if you added the prices together, it's about $4,000. If you like that deluxe set, we'll take another $700 off. You can have them both for $32.95. Now, across the top, that first box is our breakfast combo. That's on sale here for $2.95. Next is the Freedom Skillet. Now, that Freedom Skillet is the same skillet that's in your basic set. The reason we separate it out on the brochure, it is our #1 individual seller. That's on sale for $359, $359. Now, the kitchen cutter is the one item I told you you can buy locally. You go down to the restaurant supply store, same model, weighs 8 pounds. If you buy it from them, they're only going to give you 3 cones. They're going to charge you $379. If you don't get a free one from me today, you can still purchase one, but I will include an additional cone so you get 4 total and take $100 off. It's $279 here. And then last but not least is the gourmet cooker. And guys, I got some sad news about the gourmet cooker. When yours comes in, no butternut stew. Yeah, it's empty. $389, $389. All right, let's have some fun. Who likes free stuff? We all do, don't we? Now you've all seen the show and you've tasted the food. How many of you out there like this cookware? Thank you for saying yes. I'm a customer first. I love this cookware. Now, I stood up here and told a bunch of bad jokes. I did a couple of things for you, cook for you. Was this show just about cookware? No. What was it about? Health. How many of you guys think if you cooked and ate this way, you might be a little healthier? Live a little bit longer? When's the right time to start?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday for sure. I understand we're not cheap. The good news is I can make it affordable. We have ways of investing that everybody here can afford this cookware. But before I show you those ways, though, I'm going to do the fun stuff. Do you remember I said we're American made? Hasn't escaped us. You guys get our product, you're actually keeping us employed. We know that. We're going to say thank you. When your cookware comes in, there is going to be a thank you card in the box that looks just like this one. When you open that card up, it will list the various cities and states in this country where 9,000 Americans have jobs because you're one of our customers. We're proud of that. We're going to say thank you for that. So first thing I'm going to do is anybody with any set, it doesn't matter if it's a big set or a small set, any set at all, as a thank you gift from our workers, we will be including that kitchen cutter as a gift to go with your set. That's for buying American. Now, I have one more gift to tell you guys about, but first I told you I can make it affordable. I can. We have ways of investing. We have a layaway program. Put whatever you want down. Pay whatever you want every month. Once you've paid it off, we will send you the cookware, but you'll lock in the prices and the gifts. Put it on a major credit or debit card. You'll get your cookware within 2 weeks. We do ship directly from the factory. If you want your cookware right away, but you don't want to pay for it all at once, you see where it says 90 days on the credit card? That's been changed. It's now 120 days, meaning 4 months. Put 25% down on your credit card and we will ship you the cookware. You'll get it in 2 weeks. We'll wait a month, charge you a fourth, wait another month, charge you a fourth, and wait another month to charge you the final fourth. We also take cash and checks. But guys, there is one last gift I want to talk to you about. If you look on the side of your brochure, you're going to see my name and my phone number listed. I do that for a reason. I know people like to think things over and talk about them, and that's okay with me. Call me at that number anytime for up to 1 week. I'll honor those prices, and that kitchen cutter is a free gift. I can't go past a week because I don't own the company. They control pricing, not me. But for at least a week, I can make that guarantee. What I won't be able to do if you call me later is give you what we call the incentive gift. Now, the incentive gift's just what it sounds like. Our company does pay money to be here. They look for return on investment. And we know through experience that once you leave the booth, chances are we're not going to hear from you again. Not because you didn't want to, but sometimes life just gets in the way. Things happen, you forget, who knows why. So they want to offer you an incentive to go ahead and place the order while you're here. So only if you know you want the cookware. Doesn't matter the size of the set or how you choose to pay for it. Everybody's going to get that kitchen cutter as a free gift. But if you place your order here at my demonstration, I'm also going to be including, absolutely free, with your set. Not this. That's my dinner. We are the only waterless cookware company in the world who now has a 6-quart gourmet cooker. Now this is the same as the forecourt. You can use it on top of your stove. You can use it on the base for it's a slow cooker. If you'll notice, it's tapered at the bottom. Put it on your stovetop. You now got a wok. You can do stir fries. On the inside, we have what we call a fat rack. You place your roast on top, the fat will drip below it. Or if you want to steam some seafood, you put the beer on the bottom and some crab legs on top. That fat rack does come out. Now you've got a big 6-quart pot that you can use on top of your stove or on your base as well. I told you on your brochure that that gourmet cooker was $389. This 6-quart version with the base is $495. But guys, if you see the wisdom and you want to place your order here at my demonstration, this will also be free with any of your sets. So you're going to get the big 6-quart with the base and the kitchen cutter if you're ordering here. Call me later, that's fine too. Yes, sir. It is. It is. The wok, though, is a little bit shorter than this. It looks exactly like this, but just a little bit shorter. Yeah.